Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Restiani. Sociolinguistic class of speaking traditional linguistic Asia has focused most of its attention on exploring linguistic competence areas that cover the grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation of a language. This approach might have reinforced a widespread but erroneous belief about second language learning, namely that acquiring linguistic competence will be enough for you to become an effective communicator in the second language. Of course, you need this knowledge in order to produce correct speech in the second language. Sociolinguistic argue, however, that linguistic competence by no means guarantees successful communication is crucial. Shortcoming is that it does not ensure that you can understand and produce socially appropriate speech in the second language. To see what sociolinguistics mean, consider the following conversation and its outcome. This conversation between a U.S. host and a foreign student is hypothetical, but the same type of situation has been documented and discussed in the research literature. Rabin, 1983, and Thomas, 1983. U.S. Host, would you like some more dishes? Do you have some student? No, thank you very much. The host changed the topic of conversation and does not mention dishes again. The student really did want more dessert but was trying to appropriate by refusing. He remains hungry and I even feel offended because the host has not prepared the offer. Clearly, the speech of each participant is linguistically correct. What is equally clear, however, is that a breakdown of communication has occurred in the situation. The student has communicated to the host a false impression in his wishes. He does, in fact, want more desire. The host, for her part, has imprinted the refusal as a genuine one. On the other hand, the host, attempting to be attentive and polite, may somehow be giving the opposite impression to the student. Neither participant in the conversation realized, thought that there has been a misunderstanding. For sociolinguistics, such misunderstanding over evidence for the existence of sociolinguistic rules of speaking just other grammar, vocabulary, and phonological rules of our linguistic competence help us produce linguistically correct speech. The sociolinguistic rules enable us to understand and produce. And culturally appropriate speech, they are acquired and applied usually unconsciously by members of a given culture. In our example, the host is following a sociolinguistic rule in his culture, which states that over of more food are made once or at most twice. The student, on the other hand, played a role from his own culture, which states that you should never accept the first offer or even the second offer of more food. In his culture, it is polite to wait until the third offer, which he now will come. There is extensive empirical data to support both the claim that sociolinguistic rules of speaking exist and that they may differ from culture to culture. Christopher 1982 reports is the relative unwillingness in Japanese culture compared with American culture to directly refuse and request from someone. According to a 1974 South Asian, unlike American and European, do not think shop keeps close friends or family members. Other research have suggested that culture differ in how and how often they apologize Cohen and Olstein in 1981, Cohen and Olstein 1993. From the evidence present in the predicting paradigm is clear five that different cultures have different standards for what is socially appropriate linguistic behavior in similar circumstances, while taking apologies accept and repudiate are probably universal activities that there are for when and how to perform such action may differ greatly from culture to culture. Does it follow, however, that second language learners need to master the rest of the culture whose language they are learning? To address this question, let us return to the example of the foreign student and the US host, but follow the rules of politeness of their own society, but are unaware that there are otherwise to show politeness. What is especially significant is that the student is already beginning to judge the host negative reaction like these are relative a common situation in which intercultural miscommunication occurs. One typical response is to jump to a conclusion and to attribute a negative quality, in this case lack of politeness, to the person whose language was understood linguistically but misinterpreted sociolinguistically. Learners of a second language therefore need to be aware that the rules for polite interaction are not universal. Students should be able to identify situations in which the rules of the cultures are different. They must also be ready to modify their speech to conform to the sociolinguistic convention of the society they are in. Accomplishing these two texts is not simple, but failure to do so will lead to misunderstandings that may have negative consequences for those who are involved. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.